This is not a video about zodiac traits, horoscopes, or surface-level astrology. This is about something much deeper, something most people feel but rarely understand. If you are an Aries, what you're about to hear may feel uncomfortably accurate, not because it exposes your strength, but because it touches the part of you that you've spent your whole life trying to outrun. You are known as bold, fearless, impulsive, and unstoppable. People see fire, movement, action. What they don't see is what happens inside you when the noise fades. You are always moving forward because stopping feels dangerous. Silence feels like being forgotten, and being forgotten feels like disappearing. So you push, you act, you conquer, not because you'd be fearless, but because slowing down would force you to face the one fear you never admit, the fear of no longer mattering. From a very young age, you learned that attention followed action. When you did something first, loudest, bravest, people noticed. When you hesitated, the world moved on. That shaped you. You became someone who initiates, who leads, who goes first, not always because you want to, but because being second feels like being invisible. You chase intensity because calm feels empty. You chase challenges because ease feels suspicious. And when life becomes quiet, you feel restless, irritated, even anxious, without knowing why. The truth is, your fire is not just passion, it's proof of existence. As long as something is burning, you feel alive. As long as you're desired, admired, needed, you feel real. And the idea of being replaced, ignored, or emotionally forgotten hits you harder than any failure ever could. You rarely talk about this because vulnerability feels like weakness to you. You don't want sympathy. You don't want reassurance. You want certainty. You want to know that if you stop running for even a moment, someone will still stay. But deep down, you don't believe that. So you test people. You push limits. You provoke reactions. You disappear briefly just to see who notices. And when they don't respond the way you hoped, you tell yourself you never cared in the first place. That's the armor. That's how you survive emotionally, by pretending rejection doesn't touch you, even when it cuts deeper than you'll ever say out loud. In relationships, this fear shows up in subtle but powerful ways. You love intensely, quickly, and with full presence. But the moment you sense boredom, emotional distance, or hesitation from the other person, something inside you shifts. You become reactive, impatient, defensive. You may start fights over small things, or pull away suddenly, not because you don't care, but because you're terrified of caring more than they do. Being the one who loves deeper feels like giving someone the power to erase you, so you'd rather burn the bridge yourself than wait to see if someone else will walk away first. And every time this happens, it reinforces the belief that you must always stay strong, fast, and untouchable to survive. But here's the truth most Aries never hear. Your fear of being forgotten is not a flaw. It's proof of how deeply you value connection, impact, and presence. You, Dan T, want to be remembered for what you owned or achieved. You want to be remembered for how you made people feel. You want to matter, you want to leave a mark, and that desire is not selfish, it's human. The problem is not that you feel this fear, it's that you fight it instead of understanding it. When you allow yourself to slow down without equating stillness to disappearance, something powerful happens. You realize that your worth does not vanish when you rest. Your fire doesn't go out just because you stop feeding it constantly. The moment people truly fall for you is not when you're loud, impressive, or dominant. It's when you let your guard drop just enough to be real, when you listen instead of leading, when you stay instead of rushing ahead. When you allow someone to choose you without having to prove yourself first, that's when your presence becomes unforgettable. Not because you demanded attention, but because you allowed connection. You don't need to outrun being forgotten. The people who truly see you never forget you. And once you understand that, your fire stops being a defense and becomes your greatest gift. If this felt like it was speaking directly to you, write Aries in the comments. If you've ever feared being forgotten but never knew how to say it, you're not alone. Subscribe to continue this series, because every sign carries a truth that deserves to be seen. And here, nothing real is ignored.